Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just finished watching Yes Day, directed by Miguel Arteta, the same man who gave us Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day back in 2014, and starring Jennifer Garner, Edgar Ramirez, and Jenna Ortega, featuring a cameo from her. Her as in the one from the Super Bowl. Now, when it comes to family comedies like this, Yes Day definitely is a hypothetical day that I'm sure the kids would absolutely love, but would be complete hell for the parents involved. And that's definitely what happens in this movie, though I do think it's generally a lot of fun for the whole family. Not perfect, but a good distraction. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story is that Allison and Carlos, played by Jennifer Garner and Edgar Ramirez, are a couple who, while they were rather big risk takers back when they first got together, they decided to essentially, tighten up the hatches when they became parents. And this causes the kids to essentially feel like they can't really do anything other than their responsibilities, and, it leads to a bit of resentment and a little frustration on the kids' part. To alleviate this, both Allison and Carlos agreed to give them a yes day, which means for 24 hours they have to do everything the kids want to do for the entire day, with some ground rules, of course. And as you might imagine from that scenario, hilarity ensues. But that's all I'll say about the story. The story definitely is like one of those excuses for the directors to essentially go through as many goofy scenarios with the cast as possible until they get to the hour and a half mark and essentially have that count as a movie. And as far as those films go, it may be light on plot, but it is pretty big on laughs. Not all the jokes work, but most of them do. And it's clear the cast is having fun while this is going on. Jennifer Garner, I know a lot of people really love to make fun of her for Electra and Peppermint, but when she gets to have roles like this in comedies, I think she's generally pretty good. Edgar Ramirez, despite starring in one of last year's worst films when it comes to the last days of American crime, I think despite that he can pull off parts of the slapstick well, and he's generally good as a straight man when it comes to the comedy. So, surprisingly, I think he works better in this than he does in any of the action films that he's been a part of. And Jenna Ortega generally does well as the teenager who definitely has the biggest opposition to this Yes Day, or at least the one with the biggest stake. Even the kid actors who play uh, Allison and Carlos's other two kids, even they do a pretty good job, which is not always the case when it comes to kid actors. And hers appearance, while brief, is generally handled well, and she does have a good voice, so anyone who likes her music should enjoy her part. Also, since the movie's only about 1 hour and 21 minutes long, not counting the credits, it's generally pretty breezy, and you can get through it in just not as much time as you'd expect. It's not that big of a commitment, and the writing is at least able to make sure the jokes come fast and furious, so even if one joke doesn't work, there are at least 4 or 5 that come later that either do work or are at least worth a chuckle, in my opinion. Like I said, it's not perfect. Some elements of the plot do feel like they either go by too quick or were pulled from much better films. And the ending might seem a little unrealistic even for Netflix family comedy standards, but I do feel if you're willing to go for a film that's predictable but still rather fun, Yes Day absolutely delivers in that respect. That's why I'm going to give Yes Day a 7.5 out of 10. See you next time.